This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Fisher. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're outside today, the air you're breathing is unhealthy. We've been dealing with the bad air for several days now, and spending too much time outdoors can be harmful. Let's take a live look outside, and although the sky looks a little better than yesterday, the air is still bad. And 17's Chris Burton is live in downtown Bakersfield this afternoon with more on the poor air quality. And Chris, let's be real, it does look better than yesterday, but officials saying it's still bad to be outside.
You know, it certainly does look better than yesterday, Alex. And a lot of that smoke is kind of pushed out east, away from the downtown Bakersfield area. But it's certainly still not great. You know, we are still in that streak of unhealthy air quality days that we've been in for a while because of all the smoke that has come down out of these fires to the north. Air quality today is 153. That's 1 point less than yesterday. But again, it is still in that unhealthy for all groups category, meaning that the best thing you can do today is just stay inside. If you have to go outside, breathe light, breathe less, is what Michelle Corson of Kern County Public Health told me. Minimize physical activity, so no running, biking, any of that. The good news here is that we are in for some better air ahead. Some shifting weather patterns should blow a lot of this smoke out by tomorrow afternoon. Live in Bakersfield, Chris Burton, 17 News.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. And that poor air quality is a result of the two major wildfires burning just north of Kern County. In fact, the K&P Complex fire flared up yesterday, forcing sheriff's officials to issue more evacuations. Over the weekend, winds caused a spot fire across Mineral King Road, which prompted the Tulare County Sheriff's Office to issue an evacuation order for Crest, Sierra King, Hammond, and Oak Grove. The temporary evacuation point is at the Wood Lake Community Center. All previously evacuation orders and warnings still remain in effect. Officials say containment decreased due to the increase in the fire size. That fire is now 76,000 acres in Sequoia National Park, and it is only 11% contained. Meanwhile, the Tulare County Sheriff's Office yesterday downgraded the evacuation order to an evacuation warning for the communities of California Hot Springs and Pine Flat. All prior evacuation orders and warnings remain in effect, and portions of the Sequoia National Forest around the fire zones are still closed to the public. Officials say the Windy Fire has burned 20 homes and 2 businesses. The fire has burned more than 95,000 acres since it was sparked by lightning on September 9th. It is 70% contained. The third surge of coronavirus is slowing, but we're just now getting a better understanding of how many lives were lost in the past 2 months. Public Health announced 7 new deaths today. Most of the new deaths were from early to mid-September. 1,560 people have died from the virus since the beginning of the pandemic. At least 191 people have died since vaccinations became available to everyone 12 and older. We also learned of 276 new cases. The daily number of new cases has dropped, but people are still very ill and experiencing the worst of this virus. 247 people are in the hospital with more severe symptoms. 76 are in the ICU. Johnson & Johnson is officially seeking emergency use authorization from the FDA for its COVID-19 vaccine booster. The drug maker released a statement early this morning saying it has submitted data to the FDA that shows their booster dose increases protection to 94% against moderate to severe COVID-19 reactions. Their data also suggests antibody levels increase 9-fold 1 week after the booster is administered, and that number climbs to 12-fold higher 4 weeks after. The company is asking for booster shots to be made available to people 18 and older. The FDA will now review and discuss the findings before making a recommendation. Johnson & Johnson is the second drug maker to seek approval for their COVID-19 vaccine booster. You may remember last month, the FDA approved a booster for the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine for certain populations. United Way of Kern County is partnering with Lyft to offer free rides for COVID-19 vaccines. There are several requirements to be eligible for a free ride of up to $25, according to United Way. Those eligible have to wear a face mask, leave the front passenger seat empty, and windows must be down when possible during the ride. To receive the discount code, you must have the Lyft app downloaded. To see if you're eligible for a free ride, just head to our website, kget.com. Meantime, Kern County District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer yesterday issued a consumer alert warning residents to not print fake COVID-19 vaccine cards or purchase them from people selling counterfeits. Zimmer says her office is aware of counterfeit cards advertised on social media and other websites and wants to make it clear it is illegal to misrepresent vaccine status and may be prosecutable under federal and state law. She says those using fake cards are actively harming public health efforts and endangering our community. For ways to report the use of fake cards, you can head to our website, kget.com, and click on the hot link icon.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
In your 17 Crime Watch, 2 men arrested for killing another man in North Bakersfield last week are set to appear in court this afternoon. The shooting happened last Monday near Jewett Avenue and 35th Street. That's where officers found 45-year-old Eddie Raymond Bustamante Sr. dead. Police announced yesterday 38-year-old Emil Alvari and 24-year-old Angelo Rodriguez were arrested on Friday for Bustamante's death. Alvari and Rodriguez are being held without bail on suspicion of murder and conspiracy. Now to an unfortunate update on a story we've covered extensively. The story of Cari Anderson, which captivated the community 3 years ago. Now at an end, the rape and assault survivor succumbing to a recent injury, dying on Sunday at age 63. Anderson was raped when she was 23 years old and struggled to survive after the brutal attack left her with a traumatic head injury. Her case went cold for decades, but in 2018, former KGET reporter Olivia LaVoice followed Cari's story and profiled her daily struggle since the attack. After the story aired, hundreds of people in our community rushed to help Cari. In a display of generosity common to our community, people came together to refurbish Anderson's home. People also prayed for her, hoping the man who was responsible for raping and leaving her for dead would be arrested. In just last June, an arrest was in fact made. Although Olivia left KGET in 2019 and moved to Seattle, she has stayed in contact with Anderson, creating a lifelong bond. Late last month, Anderson suffered an injury and never recovered. And like we mentioned, the man accused of raping Cari was arrested in June, more than 2 decades after the crime. And this morning, 17 News obtained court documents showing how police were able to make an arrest. Documents show detectives tried everything to find the suspect, and in 2019, new technology and a glob of spit helped secure an arrest. You can read more about how police were able to break the case. It's on our website, kget.com. In education news, COVID-19 has wreaked havoc on schools across the country. Virtual learning, quarantine, and closures. And now schools in Kern County are struggling to find substitutes. So they're raising incentives. 17's Chris Burton explains.
Multiple officials at Kern County school districts paint a picture of intense competition for substitute teachers. It sparked a bidding war, raising daily rates for subs higher than $200.
Individual school districts are, of course, having to compete for the same depleted number of substitute teachers who are in the pool today. One of the ways, primary ways that that's being done is to increase their pay scales for daily substitute teachers.
It's a perfect storm of factors that includes uncertain schedules for long-term teachers and a shortage of substitutes.
Pre-COVID, we averaged about 2,000 or so individuals in the county-wide eligibility pool. That depleted to about 1,100 last year. Today, we have about 1,500 in the eligibility pool.
Bakersfield City School District has seen students reassigned classrooms because schools couldn't find a substitute. On Tuesday, BCSD approved an increase to a $215 daily rate for subs, a huge increase from a price point around $150 in previous years. Districts across the county have enacted similar pay hikes.
That's something we're looking at, we're discussing, and it's always something that we're looking at every year.
Steve Martinez, superintendent of Kernville Union School District, doesn't see numbers improving in the coming months.
It really depends on, at least for this year, what's going on with COVID. But I think for the foreseeable future, we're probably going to have a shortage of substitute teachers.
Pam Bauer, president of the BCSD Board of Trustees, said we could see another pay increase if a fourth COVID surge forces more absences.
Well, someone is nearly $700 million richer after a winning Powerball ticket that was sold in Morro Bay. Sorry, not in Kern County. The winning numbers, though, were 12, 22, 54, 66, and 69, with the Powerball of 15. California Lottery's website says the ticket was purchased at an Albertsons in Morro Bay. The jackpot was worth $699.8 million if the winner takes an annuity. If taken as a cash prize, then it's $496 million. The next Powerball drawing is tomorrow, and the estimated jackpot is $20 million. Still not too bad. And the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters will be bringing their spread game tour to Bakersfield next year. Globetrotters will take to the court at Mechanics Bank Arena on February 18th, so it's a little ways away, but tickets go on sale October 12th at 10 a.m. And this week, the Bakersfield Condors are set to host their first preseason game. The Birds from Baco will take on the Stockton Heat for their first home matchup on Friday. Tickets for the game went on sale yesterday for $15, but Condors 365 members have the game included with their membership. You can purchase tickets for the game and the upcoming 2021-22 season at axs.com. The Condors opening weekend for the regular season begins next Saturday, October 16th, versus the San Jose Barracuda.
The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.